one magazine article, one unexpected number, and suddenly, a question that has quietly circulated online for years returns to the spotlight. Could a decades-old magazine have simply made an editorial mistake? Or has a single inconsistency fueled a mystery that refuses to disappear? That's the question at the center of today's story. Back in March 1997, an issue of 17 magazine featured Meghan Markle and listed her as 21 years old. A detail that conflicts with the widely reported birth year found in official biographies. On the surface, the explanation seems straightforward. Publications occasionally make factual errors, and mistakes can remain in print for years without being corrected. But what caught the attention of internet researchers wasn't just the number itself. It was the fact that archived versions of the article remained publicly available without any known correction. That alone sparked years of online discussion, despite there being no verified evidence that the magazine accurately reflected Meghan's age. And that's where this story truly begins. Official biographies consistently state that Meghan Markle was born on August 4, 1981. Major news organizations, published biographies, and numerous public records all repeat that same date. Those sources continue to support the 1981 birth year. Yet one archived publication appears to say something different. For many people, that's simply an old publishing error. For others, it became the first clue in a mystery they wanted to investigate further. As online discussions grew, attention expanded beyond a single magazine page. People began comparing interviews, archived articles, public appearances, and family statements, searching for anything that appeared inconsistent. When public figures spend years in the spotlight, every interview becomes part of a larger timeline. Small differences that might normally go unnoticed can suddenly become subjects of intense scrutiny. The conversation eventually turned toward comments made by members of Meghan's own family. Samantha Markle has publicly stated that Meghan was born in 1981, which aligns with official biographies. At the same time, some online commentators pointed to documents connected to Meghan's defamation lawsuit against Samantha, arguing they raised additional questions. Those interpretations remain disputed, and no court concluded that Meghan's publicly reported birth year was inaccurate. Nevertheless, internet discussions continued, with participants examining every available document for possible inconsistencies. Thomas Markle Sr. also publicly challenged parts of Meghan's personal story, particularly regarding her upbringing and early opportunities in Hollywood. His account differs from Meghan's own description of her childhood. Thomas Markle Jr. has likewise made critical public statements over the years. These interviews attracted significant media attention, but they remain personal accounts rather than independently verified findings. Like many family disputes played out in public, they present differing perspectives rather than definitive proof. Supporters argue that disagreements between relatives are common, especially when relationships become strained under extraordinary public attention. Critics argue that repeated disputes deserve closer examination. The reality may be more complicated than either side suggests. As interest continued, attention shifted towards several stories Meghan has shared about her childhood and early life. One often discussed example involves her account of working at a frozen yogurt shop at age 13. Supporters view it as an ordinary childhood memory. Critics have questioned whether the hiring practices described online match that timeline. Those claims remain unresolved, and no publicly verified evidence has established that her account was inaccurate. Even so, the story continues to appear in online discussions. Another frequently mentioned example involves the well-known dish soap campaign Meghan has spoken about in interviews over the years. The campaign itself is well documented. However, some online commentators have debated how details surrounding the story, including ages and timing, have been described across different interviews. Human memory naturally changes over time, especially when recalling events from childhood decades later. Small differences are not uncommon, but once public attention becomes focused on consistency, even minor variations can receive significant scrutiny. The same pattern has appeared in discussions surrounding anecdotes involving journalist Katie Couric. Again, the debate isn't necessarily about whether the events happened. Instead, some observers compare different interviews and question whether certain details changed over time. None of these discussions establish that any account is false. Rather, they demonstrate how carefully every public statement can be analyzed once broader questions begin circulating online. Some observers believe these discussions form a larger pattern. Others strongly disagree, arguing that unrelated events are being linked together after the fact to create a narrative that isn't supported by evidence. That disagreement has become part of the story itself. The discussion later shifted to more recent media coverage. Around the time Prince William participated in a widely shared interview discussing family life, Meghan released a professionally produced promotional video that also gained widespread online attention. Because the timing was close, some social media users speculated that the two events might somehow be connected. Others viewed the overlap as nothing more than coincidence. There is no verified evidence establishing any coordinated relationship between the two. As speculation continued, some commentators questioned why Meghan had never publicly addressed recurring online rumors surrounding her age. Others pointed out that many public figures choose not to respond to unsupported internet theories, believing that doing so can amplify them unnecessarily. Silence alone does not prove or disprove a claim, yet it often becomes another point of public interpretation. Attention also periodically returns to a photograph that resurfaces whenever these discussions gain momentum online. Various claims have been made about the image, while others dispute both its authenticity and attempts to analyze it using AI detection tools. Without independent verification, the photograph cannot establish the conclusions that some people have drawn from it. Still, its repeated circulation illustrates how internet content can continue resurfacing long after it first appears. Some online commentators have also referenced records they believe are difficult to obtain or unavailable to the public. However, restricted public records can exist for many ordinary reasons, including privacy protections and standard administrative procedures. The existence of inaccessible documents does not, by itself, indicate that any hidden narrative exists. Ultimately, two very different interpretations continue to coexist. One sees nothing more than an old magazine error, imperfect memories, family disagreements, and years of internet speculation woven together into a compelling story without conclusive evidence. The other believes unanswered questions remain worthy of continued public discussion. As things stand today, publicly available records continue to support Meghan Markle's reported birth date of August 4, 1981, while alternative claims remain unverified or disputed. And perhaps that's why this conversation continues to resurface. Not because a definitive answer has emerged, but because each time an old article, interview, or photograph returns to public attention, so do the same unanswered questions. Until new, independently verified evidence emerges, the debate is likely to remain exactly where it has been for years. Between documented records, disputed interpretations, and the enduring curiosity that often surrounds some of the world's